Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Okay, here we go. Starting off today's study in the book called Exodus, chapter 21, verse 1. Reads as follows. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant 6 years, he shall serve, and in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. I'm going to read that third verse again. If he came in with his body or by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, or saying shall say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the door post, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, AUL, and he shall serve him forever. Excuse me. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. If she please not her master, who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation he shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. He that smiteth a man so that he die shall be surely put to death. And if a man lie not in wait, but God deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor, to slay him with guile or deceit, thou shalt take him from mine altar, that he may die. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. And he that stealeth a man, and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And he that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone, or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he arise again, and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit, only he shall pay for the loss or his ceasing of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished. Excuse me. According as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. And if he smite out his manservant's tooth, or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, and it hath been testified to his owner, and he hath not kept him in, but that he hath killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him, whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter. According to this judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit, and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. And if one man's ox hurt another's, that he die, then they shall sell the live ox, and divide the money of it, and the dead ox also they shall divide. Or if it be known that the ox hath used to push in time past, and his owner hath not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. Okay, as you heard, that's a lot in there. You can also hear too, if you some of you are familiar with history, especially in both what they called at the time the New World here, and as well as Europe and some of the European countries, but mostly in the New World. How they try to implement their own version of maintaining slavery and stuff, along with the rest of the 21st chapter of God's way of doing things. But we had, excuse me, we have to remember though that a lot of this was in back then God's way of dealing with his people and wanting his people to operate. A lot of it is vastly different from what's going on today, or what we've become accustomed to. But you have to always remember, though, where God was involved personally in their lives, this is the way he wanted things done. Okay, but don't get it, as the kids say, don't get it twisted. Back in 17th, 18th century, and a large part of the 19th century, they perverted and twisted up a lot of stuff, to, granted for their own purpose and their own benefit and stuff. Especially not taking advantage of people. A lot of them, not only our people or people of African descent, but Indians, people of Native Americans, some courses Mexicans, but most of the people that they used for hard work and labor, and some that later on, in some cases, Chinese, mostly with the railroads and stuff like that. Excuse me. But yeah, this is a brutal thing. So we can, I just thought I'd point that out. Um, but that's it for now. Okay, I'm back. Now we're going to delve into chapter 22. Verse 1 reads as follows. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him. For he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the theft or thing stolen be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, he shall make restitution. If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn, or the standing corn, or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. I'm going to repeat that one again. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges, to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing, which another challengeth to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass or an ox, or a sheep, or any beast to keep, and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. Excuse me. And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt, or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be an hired thing, it came for his hire. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. I'm going to read this again because it just put that in, you'll see that this is in stark contrast against what's going on today, currently, today. But listen carefully. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Thou shalt not allow a witch or suffer a witch to live. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. He that sacrificeth unto any god, small g, save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger, nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I'll repeat that one again and put that in, you'll see that this in stark contrast of what's going on currently in this country today. Listen carefully or follow along. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. Again, I'll repeat that. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. And my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin. Wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass, when he crieth unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious. Thou shalt not revile the gods or judges, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Again, verse 28. Thou shalt not revile the gods or judges, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits, and of thy liquors. The firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen, and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dame. On the 8th day thou shalt give it me. And ye shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs. Again, that last verse, verse 31, I'll read again. And ye shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs. A quick note or mention. That last verse, especially that first part, and ye shall be holy men unto me. He wasn't talking about them after in the afterlife. I say that to point that out because there's a prevalent thought today, currently. Some people, excuse me, there's a great deal of people, I should say, that they claim that Christianity, you can't be perfect, you can't be holy, and obviously that's a lie from the devil. You must be holy. Why else would he, how in the world can you not believe that, and then whether you say grace over your food or whether you say your prayers before you go to bed, say you want something come up and you want to pray about some kind of event or some action, you have to be in the right spot or position, I meant to say, so this holy, righteous, powerful, loving God can hear you. You got to be in a position where he will hear you, not just sporadic, but all the time. So you can't be walking the fence, or playing catch as catch can. because God said it. He repeated it numerous times in this book. Be ye holy, for I am holy. And consider the people that he personally dealt with. Abraham started it out. Methuselah, well, I shouldn't say started out, but he was one. Methuselah was one. Elijah was another one. But yet there's this prevalent thought or theme going around today. People saying that you don't need to be doing all that. And if you do, just go ahead and ask God to forgive you. I'll end it there, but with this. A lot of that thought or that prevalent thought is due to woeful ignorance because people aren't reading the Bible. And that's why we're taking the time to go through this here. And we heard some things in here so far that to most people should be earth-shattering or, mind-blowing. But you got to remember, you're dealing with a holy God. And he wants both his men and women to be like his son, to be just as holy, just as righteous. In fact, to be just in every way. And if you believe other than that, why waste your time? I mean, you're more than an actor or a pretender. And we got plenty of them today. Plenty of them. You got people like, well, not that I'm picking on her, but that Paula White. Who else? You got Franklin Graham. That's sad. That is sad. They're all side saddling, hip to hip. That Jeffers fella from Texas, they're all hip to hip with a 34 or 32 count adjudicated felon. You got to be careful about the company you keep. And the person, God's man and woman, should reflect the very people that we read about in these scriptures. Just remember, be ye holy, for I am holy. So, okay, I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Moving on into chapter 23 of Exodus, verse 1. Reads as follows. Thou shalt not raise a false report or receive a false report, but not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. I'm going to repeat that again. Thou shalt not raise a false report, but not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou answer or speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. If thou meet thine enemy's ox, or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. Thou shalt not wrest the judgment of thy poor in his cause. Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked. I'll repeat that again because there's a lot of people out here that are going along with the current administration and the things that they're trying to get away with. Verse 7. Hear this careful. Again. Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not. For I will not justify the wicked. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, or the seeing, and perverteth the words of the righteous. Also thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart or soul of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. And 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof. But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard. Again, I'll repeat that again. Verse 11. But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field shall eat, with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard. 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the 7th day thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month of Abib. For in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of thy labors, which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year. Excuse me. When thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. 3 times in the year all thy males shall appear before the Lord God. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of thy sacrifice or feast remain until the morning. The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring into the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him that obey his voice. Excuse me, I made a mistake. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. For mine angel shall go before thee, and bring thee in unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt surely overthrow them, and quite break down their images. And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. Oh, we'll repeat that again, verse 25. And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread in thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days will fulfill. Excuse me, I'll read that again. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before thee, and will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come, and I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. And if you don't mind, let me read that last 3 again, for our soul's sake. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. So as you heard, there's no misunderstanding that. Okay, let's go on to chapter 24 of Exodus, starting with verse 1. Reads as follows. And he said unto Moses, Come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord, and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice, and said, All the words which the Lord hath said will we do. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar on the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people. And they said, All that the Lord hath said will we do, and be obedient. Let me read that again from 6. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, All that the Lord hath said will we do and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the God of Israel. Excuse me. Pay close attention to this now. I'm going to back up to 9. Verse 9. Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were, the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand. Also they saw God, and did eat and drink. And the Lord said unto Moses, Come up to me unto the mount, and be there. And I will give thee tables of stone, and a law and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and his minister, Joshua, and Moses went up into the mount of God. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moses went up into the mount, and the cloud covered the mount. And the glory of the Lord abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And the 7th day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud, and the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud, and gat him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Oh, that's something. That's something. Breathtaking. I'm going to read that again, the last 3, 16, 18. And the glory of the Lord abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And the 7th day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud, and the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud and gat him up into the mount, and Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. I don't know about you guys, but that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, I'll be back. Okay. Now we're about at final stretch. Chapter 25 of Exodus, verse 1. There's a title here, says the Ark of the Covenant. Reads as follows, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel that they bring me an offering. Of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart, ye shall take my offering. Just a quick note, that's the way it should be in church services. When that offering plate comes around, every man that giveth it willingly with his heart, ye shall take my offering. Ye shall take my offering. That seems like the only way to do it. But anyway, and this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet, and fine linen or silk, and goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and badger skins and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I shew thee after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, within and without shalt thou overlay it, and shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. And 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold, of beaten work shalt thou make them, in the 2 ends of the merchants. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold, of beaten work shalt thou make them, in the 2 ends of the mercy seat, and make 1 cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel. Thou shalt also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt make unto it a border of a hand breadth round about. And thou shalt make a golden crown to the border thereof round about. And thou shalt make 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners. Okay. And thou shalt make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border shall the rings be for places of the staves to bear the table. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, and spoons thereof, and covers thereof, and bowls thereof, to cover withal. Of pure gold shalt thou make them. And thou shalt set upon the table shewbread before me, always. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold. Of beaten work shall the candlesticks be made. His shaft and his branches, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm starting to doze off. Okay, here we go. Let's start back at 27 again. Over against the border shall the rings be for places of the staves to bear the table. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, and spoons thereof, and covers thereof, and bowls thereof to cover withal. Of pure gold shalt thou make them. And thou shalt set upon the table shewbread before me alway. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold. Of beaten work shall the candlestick be made. His shaft, and his branches, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knot and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knot and a flower. So in the 6 branches that came out of the candlestick. And in the candlestick shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knops and their flowers. And there shall be a knot under 2 branches of the same, and a knot under 2 branches of the same, and a knot under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceeded out of the candlestick. Their knops and their branches shall be of the same. All it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against them. And the tongues thereof, and the tongues thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof shall be of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold shall he make it, with all these vessels. And look that thou make them after their pattern, which will shew thee in the mount. Well, this is very, very detailed. Very detailed stuff. But again, this is all for the making of the worship, the tent of worship, or the Ark of the Covenant, and the things that's going to be in there. And we'll find out too as we go further. It's Moses and the tribe of Aaron that has a lot to do with this, because that's the only contact really that the children of Israel have, is with God is through the tribe of Aaron. But detailed stuff. So I apologize to the group of you that kind of zoned out on you a couple times, but I guess that goes with old age. But I don't understand it. I got enough sleep, but it could be the enemy too that's trying to have me crash out and not, trying to ruin the lesson here and study. Okay, that's it for now. I hope a lot of you have been following along in your Bibles and stuff. I want to make a quick mention, though, too, again, of certain parts that we went over. Especially, and note the part where, and you'll find it as a theme again, I think a couple chapters back, about how to treat your mother and father and stuff. God takes that very, very seriously. Very seriously. I make mention of it because these kids nowadays, and the way people allow them to do things, they talk crazy. They talk and with no respect or regard for their parents. You know, you're kicking against God's authority and or plan. So it doesn't bode well for somebody, to go ahead and, you know, argue, raise their voice, or even in some extreme cases decide to cuss their mother and father out, then doing a big thing, you know. But other than that, all I can say before I leave or close out is just read, 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 and more reading. And when you're not reading, have God in your hearts and pray. Pray earnestly to Him, and especially if you have a need. If you have a need or something, or something comes up, drop down on your knees. And better yet, shut yourself in the room if you got to gift you privacy, and shut yourself in the room or in a closet and pray and talk to the Lord like you hear me talking to you. Just make your petitions known unto the Lord God Almighty. And if your heart's right with Him, He'll answer your prayer. He'll answer your prayer and or give you a plan. So, okay, I want to thank each and every one of you so very much. You're much too kind for listening to me. And again, I hope you all followed along in your Bibles. And I hope you all have a wonderful week coming up. And remember, if you should encounter any problems of whatever nature they may be, there's nothing too hard for God, providing you gave your whole life, soul, and spirit to the Lord God Almighty. So this Brother Claude signing out, and God bless each and every one of you. You all take care. Bye-bye now.